14 when I met Gene. He was a highway patrolman at the time.
You were working in a mine shaft in the Old West then.
That's right. Busted me in El Paso. Anyway, El Paso, yeah! Garden spot of Texas. No, I'll tell you what, I met Gene. I have no memory of that. I'm old. What do you want? I do remember, you know, Gene asking me right off the bat. Gene had a very high voice. If you've never met him, a strange. He was a large man, but he talked kind of like up here, didn't he? Yeah, this with his hands. With his hands, and he sort of talked like, "Would you mind changing the color of your skin?" I said, "No problem." What can it be? I went through like 50 makeup tests, every color in the rainbow. They put them all on a reel to show to Gene. We all went into his screening room to see all the different colors and have him choose one. The first one came up, it was gold. He went, "That's fine." And that was it. And all I can say is, I'm glad that the bubblegum pink didn't come up first.
First time I met Gene, I was 14 years old, and well, not quite 14. Well, obviously, I was very young, because I'm only 39 now.
It's exciting when Nate and I are both turning 40 this year.
We're both turning 40 this year, Will. And you look good. I met him at the auditions, although I didn't know who he was. I have to say, you know, I know you're all going to hate me, but I wasn't a big Star Trek fan. Ooh, I know. In fact, it was kind of ironic because about 2 months before I started auditioning, a friend of mine came to visit me from England, and she wanted to go and see Star Trek 4 Voyage Home. And I was like, "Oh no, really? Can we go and say something else? Really? You want to go see Star Trek?" And she was like, "Yes, I do, because it's not going to be out in England for about a year." And I went, "Oh, blimey." Anyway, so I went to see Star, which I actually really enjoyed the movie. I was very surprised. So I really enjoyed the movie. But I didn't know Gene. I didn't know Gene had created Star Trek. I didn't know anything about it. All I knew was there was this guy in the audition who seemed to be in charge. You know, but after I got cast, obviously, you know, all my fellow thespians were like, "What do you mean you don't know who Gene Roddenberry is?" And I had to do some homework, and he was really a dirty old man. He liked the ladies. Or maybe it was just me. But anyway. But no, he did. He had an eye for the ladies, but that was all he had. Just an eye. No hands, no feet, no nothing. Right? Just the eyes. But no, he was a really great guy. But, you know, we knew him as a person as well as you know, the big bird of the galaxy. And he was a really cool guy who used to sneak off to the Bel Air Country Club to have a drink and eat chocolate because he wasn't allowed to by Major. So he was just a regular guy who, you know, tried to do things behind his wife's back. From there I plead the fifth.
When I met Gene, he was 14. Actually, the first audition, unlike these guys, they had, I don't know about the bar, but most of them had like many auditions. Did you have one audition?
I had three.
Three, okay, yeah, because I had two, and the second one, the first and second one, I met, there was Gene in the room. I didn't actually meet him, but they said, "Oh, here, Michael, this is Gene Roddenberry and Bob Chestnut," and I think Pike, or one of those guys was. And that was the first time I met him. And like Will, I was a big fan of the original, so when I met him, I was cool, but I was excited inside. It was kind of neat. And that was it. Actually, the very interesting thing was that they said, "Okay, thank you very much." And they said, "Michael, could you wait outside because there's a video you gave us, and you know, your audition video. We want to give it back to you. And I didn't think anything about it. I just went, yeah, okay. And I went outside, and they told me right after the audition that I had the part, and then that day they sent me to see Westmore. So that day that they chose me, I went in to do my makeup with Westmore, did all the prosthetic stuff that we can do. So that was it.
What was on the tape? Episodes of Chips?
It was him as the extra on the Mary Tyler Moore show.
Some of your finest work.
You know, I'm going to erase the pictures of you guys. I want to see, the bar.
I was a big fan of Chips.
Well, no, that was just...
Right? Who didn't love Michael Dorn on Chips?
They were ragging me about it. They said, oh, your lines on Chips, you remember all your lines. I said, I only had 2 lines. And it was, go get him punch, and it's okay, I'm all right, go get him punch. That was it.
You were my favorite Chip. Still, by the way.
Sorry, I'm Team Grossi.
You were the last one cast, because it was a race to get your prosthetics done before the start shoot.
Yeah. In fact, I think you guys were already filming, and I was getting makeup, and I don't even think that they didn't introduce me to these guys.
It took us a year to speak to you, didn't it?
No, barely. But I didn't care. At that point, you got a pilot for a series, so I don't care if they never talk to you as long as the check clears.
Well, in all fairness, you would come in at like 5 o'clock in the morning and get into makeup, and we'd all be gone by the time you got out of makeup. So it was 6 months before we knew what the hell you looked like.
I would go on the set, I think the first couple of weeks, and I'd go on the set, and nobody would say anything to me, because they just, out of makeup, because they just didn't know.
No, we didn't like you.
I feel like I'm the Hun flying over, England. They got just taking shots at me.
Welcome to being on a panel with Brent.
It was very interesting, and they just stuck me on the bridge one day. That was my first thing. They just stuck me up there and didn't say anything. And I think these guys were probably going, "What is that?" and that was it. But after a while, they kind of knew I was going to be around, despite all their best efforts. So yeah, it was very interesting. Very interesting. But I was the last one. I mean, it was just an afterthought. In fact, the story goes is that I called and I said, I really want to do Next Generation. And my agent called and they said, no, we're sorry, it's already cast. We'll see you if there's something open for you later. That means, don't call us, we'll call you. And I went, okay, fine. And then 2 weeks later, I got a call. They said, oh, they want to see you as part of a Klingon. And my agent said, what's a Klingon? I said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. That was it.
I don't know that I was the first person. I was cast early. Yeah. I had actually met Bob Justin a few years before, several years before. My best memory of Gene is him taking me to lunch not long after we started. And like Will and Michael, I was a huge fan of the original series. So it was a real thrill to be invited to lunch with Gene. And what I took away from that afternoon was just how surprised I was at how human he was. Because in my mind, he was this great visionary who had created something that I loved really dearly and I knew was popular all over the world. But to see him eat and drink some mortal gut, dribble out of the side of his mouth, drop crumbs.
He had egg salad on his tie, didn't he?
A lot.
Would you like some egg salad?
I'll have an order of egg salad. We knew what was coming next. The tie was going to be covered in it.
Here we go.
Well, you know, Sir Patrick was supposed to be joining us today. All of a sudden, some guy thought he was getting a paycheck, I guess.
Wait, Gandalf was gonna be here?